beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Girl got herself together. I mean, my friends came for me for my nose, so say something again. So in that spirit of God's graciousness to change things, we're going to talk about toxic masculinity. You know? Whew. Today, I'm deciding to come for myself. I am coming for myself because of the notions I had as well concerning masculinity, how it affected how I viewed my partners, my friends, and just the world in general. I mean, in the fight for change, if you can't sit with yourself and see things that you do that contribute to a certain notion, then we're not going anywhere, because you will talk the talk all you want, but at the end of the day, you are living the same life that you are speaking against. So let's talk about the few things that I have seen and witnessed and lived through them where I have contributed to this notion of toxic masculinity. I am really coming for myself, Lord. Number one, emotions are a sign of weakness. Who told you that? Like why? I dated this guy for a little while, and he was sweet and kind, very intentional. He listened well. He was open to critique, from me, from other people. And then this one time he did something and I was so mad, but I couldn't express myself. And he noticed and he looked at me and said, "Jean, I know I hurt you." I was like, "Oh, you hurt me." And he almost cried. Now, the moment I saw those tears coming close, they were right here. I was like, men don't do that. Men should not do that. Oh my God. Where is your backbone? Let's find it. It's right. It ran somewhere. Let's find it, because this is not it. In that moment, he was empathizing with me. And you see how for so long I thought someone showing me sympathy, my partner showing me sympathy, that's when they're listening to me. Honey, that's not it. That you're not feeling how I'm feeling. You do not even understand why I'm mad if you sympathize with me. If you just sympathize with me. So when you empathize with me, it's because you understand where you hurt me, where you went wrong, and you understand that moving forward, this is what we need to do. So I will listen to you. I would then ask you, what should I do moving forward? And that's what he was doing. He said, "I know I hurt you. What can I do to make it better?" And I was just like, no. This notion of you are only a man if you're not in touch with your emotions, if you do not express them fully, does not only affect men, does not only affect the masculine partner, but it affects the woman as well, the feminine partner in the relationship or in the friendship. Because at that point for me, it made me question him and question our relationship. And I thought, this is not healthy. It is not love if it's not struggle love. Who lied to you? I am sure your ancestors would disagree with you. That relationship is super healthy. So it felt like it wasn't love. This is not exciting. Where are the arguments? Where are the fights? Why should you go through emotional distress to just prove that you love someone? Funny thing, you hear people like, "We have gone through so much, me and him." Okay, let's talk about your finances, you and him. Like, have you guys talked about that? Let's talk about your views on politics. Have you guys spoken about that? Let's talk about your values. Are you guys aware of, your views on certain values? No. What they mean by we've gone through the most is he cheated on me, I forgave him. He, went for months without talking to me, and he came back and he said, roses are red. Violets are blue. I have searched around and you are the one for me. Here I am, lost son, lost husband. I choose you. And I accepted it. We've gone through the most. Honey, you did not. You have not gone through anything. Why does it have to take you bending yourself? Bending over and compromising over and over for you to be seen worthy? Like, why? And in my last video, I did mention Peter. Darling, toxic boyfriend, Peter. He would do that. He would go and come back, and I'll take him back, and it's acceptable. This is another notion that we have come to accept, that men will always cheat. Now we're communicating not only to ourselves, but we're also saying to a young man out there and men out there and saying, listen, you do not have self-control. So, when God was putting all the ingredients for self-control, in yours, he did not deposit. Like, he just was like, free spirits, live your life. No. If we talk about the fruit of the Spirit, let's go in the Bible, hallelujah. Control. Self-control is part of it. So this pass that we're giving people, we're giving men, is unacceptable. And so we'll talk and say, I want my partner to be loyal to me, but if he cheats, men are men. There is no way a man can stay with just one woman. One woman, why? Like, honey, you have self-control, so you can be loyal. So let me bring you back to this healthy relationship. I need to give him a name. John. We're just gonna go with Bible names. John. Peter and John. John. So because John and I had a healthy relationship, John was intentional with me. John called me. John made sure I was fine. John made sure people around him knew I was his woman. Was like, John, no flow. Well, he had flows because he's human, of course. But it was like, John, I'm not compromising. I'm not doing the most to prove why you should stay. This is not healthy. And that took me to then mistreating him, because it felt like, oh, you don't have a backbone, I'm gonna have a backbone for the both of us, so I will do the most so that you prove why you should be worthy to be in this relationship with me. Now you see the problem with notions of toxicity. Either one of you carries takes up that role, or you take the abuse from the other person. Staying in struggle life seemed like the right thing to do, but it gives permission to be in an abusive relationship, and you're like, oh, our relationship is exciting. Like, is it though? Because there are healthy ways that your relationship can be exciting without it being toxic. Play victim for you to listen to me. And this was different. In a relationship with John, I did not have to play victim for him to see that he hurt me. But in the relationship with Peter, I had to be like, oh my God, when you didn't call me, I didn't eat for 1 week. Like exaggerate your feelings for them to for you to feel pity for me, and that's when my emotions are valid. Like, your emotions are valid without, playing victim, without over explaining them. This person hurt you, they crossed the boundary, or, push your limits when it comes to your values. It is in your rights to tell them that they hurt you and they should stay in their lane. Just because they're your partner does not mean you don't stay in your lane. Excuse me, please stay in your lane. Can we not? Like, no. Like, one of my values is show me respect, speak to me with respect. But if you find yourself bending something that's a core value just so the next person feels like they are the man, that's the problem. So I don't need to play victim. I don't need to change what I believe in. You don't need to change what you believe in just to prove your point. You come to this point where your expectation is just this bare minimum. Absolutely minimum of the minimalist of the minimalistics. Like, that's what you take. So one of my core values is consistency. But toxic masculinity taught me to say at least. At least. Like, at least becomes part of your vocabulary. If you don't have it in your vocabulary, then you're not winning. Actually, then you're losing. And so when someone would show up, today they show up and they talk to me and they make me feel, yeah, I'm in your life. And then the next day disappear. 1 week later show up. What's happening is I'm bending my value to fit in your world. When in actuality, I should not bend my value. My core values should remain consistent. We are evolving as people. That's just life. We will evolve. We will grow. Certain things will change. But what should not change is my core value. Like, feeling as if I only exist in your world at your time just makes me lose who I am at my time. You see what I did there? English. Thank you, Jesus. If you're constantly changing yourself, what happens is your expectations, if they were there. So for me, it's consistency. Consistency was here. Now it's like, okay, you don't really have to show up every time, but at least show up 3 times a week. It goes down. 3 times a week to 2 times at least you're showing up 2 times a week. Goes down. The next day, well, at least you're doing 2 times a week. At the end of the day, you don't have a bar where people have to meet you at. Your worth is not in the other person. So what happens? That person leaves, friend, partner, they leave. The next person that comes, they met you there where without the values, without the standards, what happens? You accept the bare minimum. They call you 2 nights in a row. You are like, yo, I found my Prince Charming. The one that would take me. We are going high. This one, I have found myself. Like, honey, he took me out for dinner and paid. Yo, Jesus. Then he has a right. We have come to a point of accepting that the next person has a right over you. Just for doing the bare minimum. Paying for dinner. You have the right to kiss me. Calling me in a row. You have the right to request a nude picture. So let's take a second, yeah? Look yourself in the mirror. Right now, you're my mirror. You look beautiful. Look at you. Hair done. Nails done. Go. You're doing the most. Tell yourself those things that you want the next person to tell you. I will be consistent in your life, Jean. I would tell you that you're worth it. So let's talk about these bare minimum things, right? If you can do it for yourself, then that should not be the standard for the other person to have the rights. Like, if I can buy myself a meal and pay for it, and you can also do that, that does not give you the rights to my body. What else can you do? Honey, what else can you bring to the table? Like, Okay, I'm waiting. You did the dinner. Thank you. You paid for it. Ah, great. You know, in the world where male privilege exists, I mean, you get more than I get. So pay for it. But what else are you bringing? Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, thank you. I put in the efforts. What else? And so toxic masculinity makes you feel that accept the good that you have now because there's no better out there. Lies. They lie to you. There is so much better out there. There is so much better out there. I got to realize that what my beliefs, what I put out there is what I get in return. So I want someone to be emotionally available. So when someone who's emotionally unavailable comes my way, it's a no. So this belief that just take what you can get, be comfortable with it, suffer through it, and that's life, and that's love, and that's partnership, and that's friendship, does not help you, does not help your mental health, does not even help your growth. What you're doing is just sitting there stagnant and just being like, this is it for us. No. If you like consistency, then honey, go out there. There's someone who values consistency as much as you do. If you value emotionally available people, when a Peter comes to you, goodbye, there is a John out there. If you value respect, and this person disrespects you, disrespects your body, disrespects, makes jokes about things that you believe in, your politics, deuces. There's so many people in the world. There's someone else that values the same thing, that values respect as much as you do. If one of your values is loyalty, then do not give a pass to someone and say, yeah, you can cheat on me, it's okay. It's okay, it happens. It does not. If you value conversations around equality and someone comes to you who thinks, well, I'm the man. Well, I should be the one to do this. Well, women just complain. Oh, you're going to talk about that empowerment thing as well. Oh, feminist this. Honey, that's a deuces. That's not for you. There is a deuces. Sorry. That is not for you. There is someone out there who actually values feminism as much as you do. If you value the intricate parts of culture that most people might not agree with, but you stick with that, that's what gives you joy, there is someone out there for you as well who values the same things. Where it becomes a problem is if you have to bend your values just to fit in someone's world. That in itself is toxic. Don't do it. You are not mutually beneficial for each other. It would not work. It will not work. Even if it does in your head that it works, one of you is losing themselves. And that's not the point. It is so important to reimagine masculinity and femininity for yourself. Because if you don't do it here, no matter how much you talk the talk, it will not show in your relationships, in your friendships. It will not, it can never, like there's already a gap there. There is healthy masculinity and there is healthy femininity. And we need both for the world to run in a healthy, uplifting and empowering way. And I'd like us to live in a world that is empowering for us, for our partners, for our friends, for our siblings. And it all starts with ourselves. And it's hard to look at yourself. And it's hard to say, well, I think you were the one who was wrong there. But it's very helpful as well. Thank you for watching this video. And please comment toxic beliefs that you uphold or held that no longer serve you or have seen affect your life and how you approach relationships and friendships. And let's talk about it so that we can dismantle this patriarchy together, and make a better world for each other. Until next time, reflect on that person in the mirror. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make a world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change.